So, Jennifer, I'm so glad that you were here because you commented on one of my Facebook posts about how you're using these 24 guides and you were already getting results. And I said, oh, I want to hear all about it. Tell me your story. So, just give us the details of where are you located and what are you promoting and why and the whole shebang.
So I'm brand new to the real estate business.
Okay.
I am located in New Hampshire. I'm in an area called the Lakes region, so near Lake Winnipesaukee for folks in New England.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
it's really beautiful. We have some great like year-round communities, and then a lot of folks who have second homes or vacation homes or investment properties on the lakes. And there's quite a bit of skiing nearby too. I spent most of my career in public service, so I worked for state and federal governments until April of this year. And one of the interesting things about being a public servant is we're actually not allowed to post on social media.
At all?
So once you reach sort of a certain level of leadership, they basically say just don't. So that means that for the past 10 years, other than like posting photos of my kids and stuff occasionally, I really have had no presence on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or YouTube or anything. So part of what's been really interesting about this career reinvention and transition for me is learning how not just the real estate industry works and how to sell, but also how to leverage social media for becoming perceived as an expert in my market and just getting the word out. And so I've been looking for lots of tools and tricks, and I think saw what was probably an ad on my Facebook feed. That was this amazing video that I'm sure all of your viewers and observers are complimentary of, because it immediately pulled me in. Right, I really resonated with the humor and how you were sort of offering something, right, very affordable and accessible and sort of easily adaptable to individual people and markets, but that I felt like, oh, this looks professional and like I could make it my own really quickly. So pretty much I think within probably 48 hours or so of seeing your ad the first time, I downloaded your 24 lead magnets, picked 2 or 3 of them to really start to experiment with of what I've identified as something that would be useful to my target audience, and just start testing on different platforms.
Okay,
So
I got to
happy.
interrupt you because so much of what you just said makes me so happy. So I love that A, you even have a target audience. Is that people that are looking to buy second homes, vacation homes?
Yeah, so I've actually identified 2. So I want to work with buyers and sellers. And so I think this sort of symbiotic way that is going to work for me in this market is targeting sellers who are retired here to the area and are now ready to either downsize. They need to be closer to kind of primary services and amenities like hospitals and pharmacies, which we do not have a ton of, or they're ready to move into community assisted living facilities. And so
Okay.
that's who I'm really targeting as my seller audience. And
Okay.
then buyers are, yeah, primarily folks who are looking to come into the region from Boston, New York, Connecticut, and either buy a second home that they want to use for vacation or move here permanently as we sort of increasingly, right, have this remote workplace environment where folks are able to do that and sort of telecommute.
Okay, awesome. So knowing that, what were the guides that you chose to modify first?
Yeah, so I took one guide. I think it was it was originally titled something like 5 pro tips for moving out of state.
Yeah.
And initially, I just left it pretty kind of broad and general, and didn't change a ton of the existing content, just changed some of the images, peppered in some language about the Lakes region, and branded it with my kind of contact information and logo, and ran an ad on Google and one on Facebook, and just wanted to see how it would perform. And I pretty much
Oh, interesting.
immediately,
I haven't talked
yeah,
to many people who are running paid traffic to these. Usually everybody's just promoting it on social media. So very interesting. Okay, so
yeah.
what are we looking at now?
Yeah, so this is it was a sort of general, right, like major mistakes to avoid when moving out of state or something, and I've
Yes.
sort of rebranded it for this whole sort of stream of content that I'm working on that I'm calling Escape to the Lakes. Um, so working on that. So this is now 5 insider tips for buying in the Lakes region,
Love
and
it.
really trying to remind folks that it's not just about summer up here. We all have ski mountains, and so I've taken, just a lot of images from either local photographers, and I cite all their sources so that I'm driving business to sort of local artists and entrepreneurs as well.
Oh, that's
So at
nice.
the end of yeah, at the end of this, there's a little like, did you love the picture on page 2? Like, here's where you can buy it. Um,
Oh, that's such a nice idea. That's really great. I never thought about that before. But yeah, if they're a local artist and you can drive some web traffic to them, if they get enough traffic that way, maybe in the future you could say like, hey, I'm driving all this traffic to you. Any chance you could take a few photos for my blog and cut me a discount? Or maybe they do it totally for free as a thank you for what you've been doing for them.
Yeah, and there's one photographer in particular that I'm working on sort of a more explicit relationship with, where I think his photos would make great like closing gifts, always taking this like relational value driven approach. So this is not a hard sell. This is about like helping people imagine themselves in this story that I hope ends in them buying a house in the Lakes region, but it really starts about like why. So I'm always sort of highlighting my own story, right? Like I wanted a place where I would recognize the local soccer coach in the grocery store, and where my kids would learn how to take care of chickens and goats. And that's sort of how I got here. And then giving people, I hope, some useful information. So, don't just, if you've only been up here in the summer, maybe come visit in the winter, because it is different.
Right.
There are private roads that you have to plow yourself, thinking about what else is different about living up here. So, I don't have a hospital in my town. It's 45 minutes away. Is that critical to me and my family, or not?
I love how you've
And
customized this, because I intentionally made it very um, not generic, but not very location specific, because I knew agents in all 50 states and Canada were going to be using it. And I didn't want them to have to do a ton of modification if they really wanted to use it as is. But at the same time, I love that you've totally made it your own. You basically just took the design and then
Mhm.
changed a ton. Was it hard? Like, how did you come up with what you were going to write in yours?
No, not hard at all. And just to be clear, so I used your exact content. Like I didn't change it at all before running that first couple of ads. And I'm
Mhm.
just now, right? Because I wanted to sort of see like, okay, if I go sort of broad, what happens? And
Right.
now we'll do like phase two of this test, where it's like, okay,
Yes.
now I'm gonna go super specific. So this is gonna sound more dramatic than it is, because I will say that organic traffic to my website prior to these lead magnets was probably close to zero. I've
Well, it was a
literally been
brand new site for you, right?
so brand new site. So I created a landing page for that one version, and then set up an ad on Google Ads and an ad on Facebook, and just wanted to see, because they offer such great metrics tracking and conversion rate factor, wanted to see sort of how it was performing. I'm getting on average 3 to 5 sort of organic visits from those ads a day. 100% of the people that are coming are like giving me their contact information and downloading, which is really nice.
A
Um,
100% conversion rate?
Oh, well, 100% conversion to the download.
Yeah,
Now, yeah,
that's
yeah.
not typical. I don't know if you had any marketing experience prior to this, but that is amazing. I mean, typically with warm traffic, like I have a page that gets a 65% conversion rate because I'm sending them there from my YouTube video. And if they click on the thing, they wanted the thing. So they fill out the form. But even that's not 100%. And if it's cold traffic from ads, it can be anywhere from 2 or 3% to maybe 15 or 20. That's amazing that you're getting that great of conversion.
Yeah, it's been pretty great. So I think, I did do a lot of sort of research, and I really got into the weeds in the ad creation of like, I'm targeting Lyme, Connecticut, but not Hartford. Like, so I really, one of the things that I paired is I looked at, so I did some report data based on MLS rates, and just looked at like, where are our primary buyers coming from out of state?
So smart.
And then targeted the ads to that. So I think, and I also, especially Facebook Marketplace, now lets you do so much really targeted sort of newlyweds, or people that are, likely based. I mean, it's a little scary, the amount of information that they have from
I know,
users.
right? Like Big Brother is seriously watching. They know everything
Seriously,
about you.
measuring everything you click on. But I think that accounts for that sort of high conversion rate to clicking, and then downloading, because it really is, it's really targeted at people who are already aware of the lifestyle here.
Mhm.
And so, are not just casually looking, but are actually, I think, kind of thinking about like, oh, well, if I'm not going to buy, I might at least like, get an Airbnb in the area. And so I'd love to see sort of what's happening.
I love this so much because I see all of my realtor friends showing up in my feed, and it's always just listed this new property, just sold this one. Congrats to my buyers who are closing on their first house. And it's always all about the house, the individual property. And I think that the consumer sees that 300 times a day and it's just like not even paying attention anymore. But if you come along and you're like, hey, do you live in Connecticut and you're thinking about moving to New Hampshire? I've got this guide of don't make these mistakes when you're moving out of state. And they click on it, like you've grabbed their attention with the pain point that they are experiencing right now and what they want to have happen. That's amazing.
But one of the really interesting things is that, so when folks are going to this landing page and downloading, they're getting an automatic email saying, I'm so glad that you downloaded this. I hope you'll find it helpful. Would love to work with you. And by the way, even if you're not ready to buy now, I have this Substack and it's all about like lake life in, the Lakes region. You should check it out. And I have been able to track, it's not 100% conversion, but of the sort of, let's say 50 organic sort of click downloads that I've gotten in the last week, 12 of them have signed up for the newsletter. So that's now 12 people that are sort of, I'm in flow with and able to kind of, at least begin to build trust with, so that hopefully if and when they are ready to buy, they'll be like, oh, I really loved your piece on, why Bailey's Bubble is better ice cream than Richardson's. And
Oh, that's so
let's
I
talk.
love that.
Yeah.
Anything you can do to further the relationship when they're still in their research mode. And if they're not ready to talk to you yet, they're like, I just downloaded your thing, but I don't know you from Adam. I don't really want to get on your mailing list and have you bombard me with, hey, you ready yet? Because that's what agents typically do. Just checking in. Are you planning to move anytime soon? But they're not giving any value to the consumer. This does. This is like, hey, if you're going to relocate to this area, I'm going to tell you everything about it so that you're getting excited about relocating here.
Yeah. And in the same way that, right, that when we're having like open houses or something, we want buyers to see themselves living in the home. Like, I want someone sitting in an office in mid Manhattan, like reading my Substack, being like, man, I wish I was out on a kayak on the lake right now. That would be
Right?
pretty amazing. Yeah. And something else you said actually, and I think is really critical and is something that I've been trying to build my understanding of, and sort of that I'm using as a touchstone in not just how I'm using these guides and your content, but also like all of my marketing, which is, I read this like amazing book called, I think it's called Story Brand.
Yes, Donald
And
Miller. It's such a good book.
yes, such a great book. But it speaks to that sort of thing about like why posting like just solds and just listeds and like open houses isn't actually driving relationships or
Right.
value or then clients. Because I think it's really about like positioning ourselves as the guide in the story and the client as the hero.
Yes.
So for our Substack Keys to the Lakes, and for the way I'm using these guides, like I'm explicitly saying in them, like, when you're ready, this is how my move from Boston to the Lakes region went. I've done this. Now, like, you're the hero of this story. And I would love to be the guide that sort of like takes you through the wilderness of the New Hampshire woods and says, okay, here's your home and here's how you make this work here.
Do you have a YouTube channel yet?
No,
Okay.
but it's next on the
You need
list.
to. You would be so great on camera with this entire story. You're so articulate. You are your ideal client avatar. They are you 5 years ago or however long ago it was that you relocated to this area. And when you get on camera and you are saying everything that you are saying, oh my gosh, this would be so amazing. And then when you say, go to my landing page and download this free guide, the conversion rate again is so high because they've been watching your videos. So now they feel like they know you and they trust you. And then when you call them, because they will actually put their phone number in that form, and you call and say, hey, I saw you downloaded my guide. Are you thinking about moving here? They get all starstruck, like, oh my gosh, I've been following you for so long. I feel like I'm talking to a celebrity. This is so cool. And they're excited to talk to you. As soon as you feel like, okay, I got the bandwidth, I can work in one more
Yeah.
thing. It's got to be YouTube videos.
Okay. So I'm working on it. I just got some equipment so that I'm not, like sitting here on my phone like this filming.
It would be fine with your phone. Like 100%, this can be your camera of choice. It'll be totally fine. I filmed on my phone and my iPad for years and years before I went to this setup, and they all worked. All of it works. So
I've been doing a lot of content lately. That's like I did one the other day where I'm surprised I didn't get pulled over by the like 2 cops in my town who now see me out and about doing all this filming. But I had like a tripod that I was holding up, and the video is about how like 2.5 years ago I was sitting on Highway 95 for an hour every morning on the way to a high rise in downtown Boston to sit in a cubicle. And that was my commute. It was bumper to bumper. People were honking. It's Boston. So people are, not always super polite. And now my commute is 20 minutes of woods, and I go past this beautiful Lake Wentworth, and like I look at the mountains every morning, and like it makes me smile every single day. And so I'm gonna refilm that, I think, and repost it. And then I'll in the comments, I'll just link to this and say, like, this could be your commute too. Like, check out this amazing free guide, download here, and hopefully it'll suck them all in.
That is so good. Okay, so I think we need to make Story Brand by Donald Miller required reading for every real estate agent before they're allowed to post on Facebook or Instagram. Like, that's my personal thing. Because you keep saying the trusted guide and the hero. And for people that haven't read this book, he uses the analogy of Star Wars. Luke Skywalker is the hero. Yoda is the guide. The guide is just guiding the hero through to help him get what it is that he wants in the end. But most of the time when we look at real estate videos, the agent is making themselves the hero. No, you don't want to be the hero. You want to be the guide. Your client or your prospect should be the hero of the story. You were just along helping them get what it was that they wanted. And then you tell these great stories, like you just said. I could absolutely picture myself in the car in Boston in rush hour traffic, surrounded by people honking and angry, and you're just trying to get home. And in my mind, it was winter. So there's all this sludge on the ground, like dirty snow, all of that stuff. My grandparents did exactly what you're talking about, but they moved to York Beach, Maine, which was right across the border from Portsmouth. And that was exactly it. Like, we don't want to live in this area anymore. We don't want that kind of a commute. They bought a little bed and breakfast, and that's what they did for the next 20, 30 years, and ran this B&B in York Beach, Maine. It was so cute. So when you tell the story, the person really visualizes what it is that you're saying, because they think, oh my gosh, that's my life right now. And I don't like it. I don't want this anymore. I want what she has. And so when you're telling stories like that and offering something that's so valuable to them, it's so much better than saying, go to my website and search for homes. They can do that on anybody's website. So I love that you've just really embraced this whole idea and run with it. I can't wait until you're just like, oh yeah, I closed 30 deals a year this month, this year. And now
I'm like, oh, I just
sales came from my landing pages. So aside from just seeing the ad on Facebook, like, what made you decide that this sounded like a good idea versus all of the other different ways that you could be marketing yourself?
For me, I'm new to the industry. I'm new to this area. I don't have a giant sphere of influence. So, when you start out, everyone's like talking about cold calls and prospecting and referrals and working the phones. First of all, I hate talking on the phone. So as soon as they said I had to start calling people, I was like, I don't know if I can do this job, but I'm getting over that. And not so much, because I don't really have to so far. But I think there are some like really, really excellent established real estate agents in this market. And the reality is that if someone in town asks someone else, like, hey, I'm thinking about selling and moving to Florida, who should I call? They're not going to say my name, because they don't know me.
They don't
My
know
kids
you
go to
yet.
school with their kids. Yeah, they don't know me yet. So I have to do it differently. Like, I have to be creative. I have to be smart about it. And I have to like recognize where the gaps are. And I think you say something, in some of your content, you talk a lot about sort of, moving to a brand new town without a sphere of influence and building a team from scratch. And like, that resonated with me, because that's exactly what I, have to do and want to do. And, I think that there is yeah, I'm all about taking the experiences and expertise of people like you and others out there who have made this work, and figuring out how I can apply it to my own stuff. And so far, it's been fun, and it's early days, but it's certainly increasing sort of people even coming to a site that no one was going to before.
Well, I love it. I think you are off to an amazing start, and it's only a matter of time before you're getting this kind of traffic already. Like, once you really, you're talking about, originally I did the very generic, broad one, and now I've made one that's more specific. So you're almost running split tests to see what's going to be better. When you've made these landing pages, you could try, one version has this headline, but the other version has a different headline. It's the same offer, the same guide. We just change up the wording to see, oh, do I get more opt-ins when I use this headline instead? Something maybe speaks to their unique pain point a little bit more. Like, it's all just testing to see what's going to work. And then when you see what's working, refining that strategy even further. I mean, you are like off to the races. It's only a matter of time before this becomes a huge source of leads for you, and hopefully lots of closings too.
Great. Thank you. I love the content. That's great. And I really appreciate you making it available.
Oh, I appreciate you sharing your story. Thank you.